The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books, and your live weekly conversations about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you stick with us. Let's take it up or not. We have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma, trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
There he is.
Being silent and assassiny.
At 100%.
He does look like he's about to take someone out.
Listen, let's show Jay too, though. Like, Jay, you're blushing. You turn purple, Jay.
I was looking for Jay when we did that, and I couldn't see him, so I used my zoom lens to find him in the crowd, and then I just ran up to him.
There it is. Next, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He's our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
Hey.
Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Mack.
What's up?
And as for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. I am your humble servant. They also call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today. We are going to be talking to you all about WonderCon 2023. And we're going to be basically bringing you all of the happenings, whatever news has come out of there. And of course, we'll talk about all other comic book news and stuff that's happened since last we were on air. So we got all that. And of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. So we'll do all that in just a moment. But before we do, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, this entire show would not have happened. So shout out to Scott Rubin, man. Yeah, I hope you're away or close to being away and having a good time. So there you go. Yeah. So before we go any further, let's have our intern talk to us and tell us how
to get in on the action. Call
Forum.
Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
FantasticForum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
There it is. So yeah, do what the intern says. Go to FantasticForum.live, and you can go ahead and, well, right now, if you call right now, you could be the fourth member of Fantastic Forum. I don't know what happened to Oz. We lost Oz. Hopefully he'll be back.
His feet kind of froze.
There it is. So I'm sure he's rebooting. But yeah, so you can be the fifth member probably of Fantastic Forum. And if you don't want to do that, you can go ahead and jump into chat, whether it be on Twitch or whether it be on YouTube, and we'll take your comments directly out of chat and bring them into the show. Such as Jay, can you insert a witty chat comment here, friend?
Yes.
Awesome, make it so.
Maybe.
Paul says, "What's up, Fantastic Forum? While at WonderCon, did you get any of the collectibles from it?"
I personally did not get any collectibles from WonderCon 2023. Oz, unfortunately, you weren't there with us.
No, I tried to be, but was told I can't be.
Yeah, I blame
Larry.
Jay was like, I don't want him there. And I'm like, Jay, it's Oz. And he's like, but not
That
this
was so
time.
funny when he asked, "Can we get chat?" And you're like, "No." He literally just responded no in the text. I'm like, oh,
If we could call in, I would
Yeah,
take
if you could call in.
I just like how
Yeah,
he did it. Like, oh, there's nobody over here.
Oh, listen, I will say I didn't know it was you, Oz. If I knew it was you, I probably would have thought harder about it. But at the end of the day, it was the right call because Lord knows Mo would have messed around and started fiddling with some stuff, and it would have been mad buggy, and like it was unquestionably smooth for a Fantastic Forum production, and that's say again.
I question that.
Okay, and that's fair. Look, this is why we're doing the show. It's like we can talk about what happened and what didn't happen at WonderCon 2023. But let's answer Tiger Claw's question real quick. Jay Moses, start with you, Jay. Did you get any collectibles from WonderCon 2023?
No, I didn't.
That's fair. That's fair. Moses, how about you, buddy?
I bought a mystery pack of comics from Aspen that came with like a 1 in 100 like variants for like Civil War variants, like the Black Panther Civil War #1. All Michael Turner art. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's technically worth something. I didn't buy it for that reason. I just wanted to gamble. And you can watch me open it on the broadcast we did from WonderCon. But yeah, I don't know. It live, I hear you can see it clearly. In the rerun, it's not as clear. But
Indeed.
that's just
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. And I guess technically I'm wrong in the sense that I don't know if I would call it a collectible, but I did get the little whatchamacallit, the little Gundam model out of the what is
the
it?
Japanese
The little
toy machine.
Yeah, the like you're right, the little Japanese vending machine. And so I'm gonna do a video of me putting that together. Shout out to JV. JV said, Mayor, that golden cup though. I agree. I like this golden cup. What up, JV? So but
The
yeah,
soda people weren't there, right?
no, I was actually pretty shocked by that. Like, because this is in fact a Wild Bill's cup. Which I don't even know if y'all can see that, but look, they're not sponsored. It's okay, huh?
The sarsaparilla.
I mean, they got a number of different sodas, and are usually at the cons. And if you have one of these cups, you can just walk up and get it filled, which is pretty awesome. But they weren't at the con at WonderCon, which or at least I didn't see them if they were. I'm pretty sure I saw just about all of it, but yeah. So, yeah. Unfortunately, we weren't able to have Oz on, and we hope. Well, not hope. I mean, let's put it like this: Comic-Con, that's not going to be a factor because Oz is going to be there in person. The Fantastic Forum together again for Comic-Con 2023. But damn, Oz, what do you like? You about to get diva on us and be like,
I felt miffed, and
I told you who to blame. I'll hold Jay's arms back while you punch him in the stomach. Hopefully that'll atone. Okay, like I get it, man. Like he's not like I've known him my whole life, and he's not a good person. It happens. It's not. I don't know what to tell you. He made a bad choice. And you'll be punished, but don't let it mess up the business of Fantastic.
Look, if you watch our second day broadcast, like Jay wasn't allowed there either.
It's true. So yeah, don't feel bad. Like what we quickly realized doing our shoot at WonderCon 2023 is that we're definitely going to need more cameras if all four of us are going to be in it. we might need and probably somebody to run the camera or to run the studio because like multiple cameras is not a problem. Like Fantastic Forum, we have. Well, I say we, but realistically, I'm saying Moses. Moses has enough cameras of high quality that we can get all the shots we need. What we don't have is somebody that's not one of us to be behind the scenes to actually like cut from the 2-shot to the 4-shot to the close-up. You know what I mean? Because that's what we need to have happen come Comic-Con. And so, hey, we got a diligent listener out there that wants to hang with Fantastic Forum and is willing to. It's not overly complex. We can show you how to do this, and it won't be hard, and you would be an invaluable member of Fantastic Forum at Comic-Con. So, if you're going to be there anyway, let us know, because Lord knows that's a few months off. Somebody might end up there and be like, yeah, I want to hang in the booth for a little bit and, help y'all broadcast, Hey, we'll buy you a drink after.
I can already imagine him running off with my cameras.
The random listener?
Yeah.
The random listener you don't even know yet? He's like, man, we were talking. Wait, the funny thing is, what I know what would happen is Moses would dip right from the broadcast. Like, Moses is not going to watch the camera walk away.
Yeah.
Moses is gone. And at that point, I would hope Jay would have the proper instinct to grab the camera and follow that action. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, it's like this is the show has turned into a different show at that point, and that's okay. Follow the action. You know what I'm saying? Follow it went from Good Morning America to an episode of Cops, Comic-Con Cops, and watch bum fights. Like, please make sure you get the freaking action shot of Moses tackling our random listener that decided today is the right day to steal one of Moses' cameras.
I don't know, man. Jay needs a little help learning when to act with the camera, man. I was having a great conversation. I'm like, Jay.
This one was trying hard to send him the mental signal.
And Jay's just looking at Jay was there just chilling, looking at the camera, just looking at it.
Pinterest.
Yeah.
He was all Pinterest up. Wait, please, Moses, please tell Oz about this conversation.
Well, that's one of the things that I miss at comic conventions. Excuse me, the camera from last week is in the way here. But there's always everybody all of a sudden's a Doctor Who fan. But I'm like, I've met real Doctor Who fans. All right, you're not it. And we met a real Doctor Who fan. And he actually worked at the convention. He was on lunch, and he's like, "Yeah, it's too crowded in the lunchroom, so I'm sitting here with you guys." We actually sat next to him because we were eating. And Emily just asked him, "How you liking the show?" And he's like, "Oh, I love working it. I got to meet the dude that plays Negan and Maggie. Like, they went to buy nachos or popcorn from him, and he helped them. And he's like, yeah, they're nice people. They're cool." And then we just started talking about his Doctor Who fan fiction and his Doctor Who, his extensive knowledge of Doctor Who conventions, like all the ones he's gone to, who he's met. Mm-hmm. And then to his criticisms of modern Doctor Who, which I really, really enjoyed. And but yeah, it was a good time. The dude looked. I mean, I think I wanted Jay to film him because I'm gonna find this dude and he's gonna be my friend, because I felt in the moment when I met him, I felt like that scene in American Splendor where he befriends the clerk that he works with, the nerdy dude. And it's like, and they just become friends and they read comics together. I'm like, that's the dude. That's my people, this guy. And, he was a little bit of a bigot, but he's old fashioned. The dude's like 80 years old.
A little bit.
But he was like 80. So what do you expect?
Oh, dude. It was so funny because I was sitting here listening to this conversation, and I'm not sure I don't think the dude thought I was with the rest of the group.
Yeah.
At first, I think he thought I just sat down. But he was talking, and I was listening to him talking about Doctor Who and what he likes and what he doesn't like. And I was just sitting there like, this fool is he about to say, and then they let in the blacks, and that really such a downhill. I was waiting for him to pull a J. The blacks came in and ruined it, and I was like, oh, gee.
I kind of cut
It's
him
like
off.
it's not even funny when Jay says it. No.
I kind of cut him off when with that, like, because he was going in that route. So yeah. Well, now what are you gonna say? Like, at one point they didn't let black people on TV, like, and now you do. Like, what do you? But he had his argument, and look, I saw my future in him, and it's like, I'm like, man, this is gonna be me talking about all these past conventions while eating nachos and licking my fingers.
Oh, I won't lie. That was actually another reason why I was kind of like not looking at him, because there was a point where he kind of had like sour cream like on the side of his mouth over here.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and I didn't want to be like, hey man, or let me put it like this. It wasn't so much like, I have no problem telling somebody they got some sour cream on their mouth. It just didn't feel like he was going on and on and on, and I felt like if I interrupted him, he would not have appreciated it. Like no matter what it was for. So I just like let it ride and just looked away. And I was like, okay, let me just eat my burrito.
But no, man, and then when I shook his hand, Lloyd, Emily, everybody's like, no, because he was like, we're sitting there talking, he's licking his, and I'm like, oh, hey, great to meet you, man, and I shook his hand, and
everybody was like instantly like, okay, hand sanitizer. Come on, man.
I've never seen so much hand sanitizer come at me at once.
Oh, dude, and that's practically post-pandemic.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, listen, that was definitely COVID-22.
Yeah, but that's my people. I can't wait to see them next WonderCon.
Oh man, no, he definitely had some controversial views, but he was in fact a hardcore Doctor Who fan. I was listening to him name drop, and I was just like, man, like this fool knows the name of every he knows the real name of every actor that's like been in every old episode of Doctor Who.
He knew the comic book shop I used to go to talk about Doctor Who when I was 12 years old.
Exactly.
And like he knew the guy's name and everything.
And it's so funny because I almost came into the conversation at that point, because that was when I first sat down. Yeah. And I used to go, like, it was Ambrosia Comics, and I used to go to Ambrosia too. And I loved talking to those guys, and how you had the one brother that was like the comic book guy, and then the other brother that was more the movie guy. And and it's so funny because he always liked to, like, you would ask, like, oh, well, at least I guess I would ask questions, and he'd be like, oh, be honest, I don't know, man. I'm more the movie guy, like, and he would always be ready to talk about movies and TV and stuff, and which was cool. Like, I like talking about movies and TV too, so it wasn't any kind of issue for me. I enjoyed both of their company and conversation, but it's just wild because I was like, oh yeah, like I loved going to Ambrosia because my mom actually used to work like up the street from it, so I could, like, if I had to go, like, either sometimes I'd have like little summer gig, or sometimes my mom would be like, hey, you got to come to work with me for whatever reason. It was a good excuse to go to Ambrosia. But man, I was like, I don't know. Like, he said something like right after that, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure if he wants to talk to me.
Did you guys ask him how he felt about female Doctor Who? And then
we did,
because
we didn't have to ask.
Well, no, because like
no, he told us.
He told us.
I'm just saying there was no prompt. Yeah, there was no prompt.
Yeah,
I mean, but did he talk about the writing specifically, or because he's an old man, just because it was a woman?
He definitely had a problem with the gays more than the woman, but I'm pretty sure he had a problem with the woman. He said that it was the writing too, like it's just not good.
Yeah, I've heard from Doctor Who fans also that it's just not written well.
Yeah, that's one of his things, because he even talked about his fan fiction and everything. So I'm gonna be reviewing that recently.
And then I really want to know from a Doctor Who fan. I don't know if there's been more episodes on this, but after female Doctor Who, she regenerated into a previous Doctor Who.
I haven't seen that yet, so I don't
what's
know
his name?
anything about it.
Tenet?
Like, oh, okay.
He
That's
was Doctor
wild.
Who, and then after female Doctor Who regenerates, she ends up in his body, and he's like, "Oh, I know these teeth," and he's just like freaking out, like, because that's never happened. So I kind of wanted to see where that went, and this was a while ago, so I'm sure
That's a while ago.
Yeah, it has to be at least a year ago.
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
I mean,
a year
a while
yeah.
ago, long enough that there would be more episodes where they kind of explore that, and I'd like to. I don't want to sit there and watch Doctor Who, but I would like to know like how they explained it.
That's hilarious.
I know there was a big hullabaloo about all of that because the doctor ended up in different clothing. Like traditionally, the doctor would be will first show up in the clothing of the previous doctor, and they didn't do that for this one because something about having the doctor in drag would be, I don't know, silly or something, they said. But I know a lot of fans were disappointed.
Now, why would it be drag though? Because it's not like I don't remember like the female doctor's clothes being like especially feminine, are they?
No.
I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't know what she ended up in. But it started off with just like overalls.
And I would have to see the later episodes, but I'm just like, I don't remember her like wearing skirts or anything like that. Like, I mean, I kind of feel like you could probably like have the doctor regenerate and be wearing clothes similar, if not exactly, like the previous doctor, and it wouldn't look like the doctor was in drag. But even if the doctor was in drag, it's like it's not his clothes.
It makes sense because it's the physical person and the body's not a piece of the clothes is not a piece of the body, right? So that's why it made sense. Like, yeah, he physically changed and is still wearing the same clothes, even though
it's like what,
even though the body shape is different, but the clothes still fit like the same.
The kids are like, oh, Doctor Who made drag okay. Doctor Who said drag is all right. He endorsed it. It's like, I don't know if that's what exactly happened. I think he just changed, and that's what he's wearing. Which is, and look, I'm not here to be like, I don't even think it has to be addressed personally. But look, I that's easy for me to say, I guess, with my 0 children, plus none of them watching Doctor Who. So it's like,
I'm just mad about their medical credentials. Like, I don't know where they got their doctorate at.
It's a doctor of space and time.
Yeah,
there it is.
I don't know.
Timey-wimey.
Yeah, that sounds like some Caltech type of thing.
Jay's like, that's where I draw.
I'm out. Yeah,
timey-wimey.
All of a sudden, all of a sudden, you're acting about credentials. I'm out.
There it is. There it is. So anyway, but what do you think? Should we try to make sure we can take calls at Comic-Con?
Nah, fuck them. You're right. I agree with you guys. Fuck the fans. They don't need to chime in. Well, why we gotta listen to them?
I mean, we got chat.
It's loud. We got people to talk to. I get it.
Well, I actually look. I bought a speaker specifically to do the calls, but logistically, it's like if we're in the middle, like, of the interviews that we were doing, I don't want somebody asking a question about like Hall H or whatever. Like I'm getting some deep advice from like Ryan Benjamin, something deep about how he came up. We're doing this for the audience benefit.
Yeah, I saw you guys talking to one of the producers of Friends. I was
But that's the thing. It's like, we don't need an interruption we can't control.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I mean,
the what we would have to do and
Like
have
we'd have
no
to.
control over. Look, we're right next to a religious school, so not like having somebody call in and potentially like cursing up a storm. Yeah, it's just not. It's not going to be a good look. No, I understand it.
I mean, cursing is
But
not a problem.
what really surprised me about your guys' broadcast is I didn't know you guys knew who the hell Bitewing was.
Did we talk about Bitewing?
Yeah, you talked about Bitewing.
I thought I did that in the car.
No, it was on one of the broadcasts. It was when I was trying to call in, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Wow,
Yeah,
you guys must have really been drunk.
No, we didn't drink during this broadcast at all. Ironically, I know we saved all that for after the fact.
And before
we had beers with Megatron.
Yeah, and Grimlock.
Right.
Yeah, I just didn't know you guys were reading Nightwing like that.
Well, I think Jay was actually the one that was.
No, it was
actually brought it up, right? Oh, was that you? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I wasn't there.
That was on the first day.
Oh, my bad. I apologize, Moses. Hey, man, look, Moses loves that tiny ass.
Bitewing's a dog.
Oh, damn it!
You're thinking
about
Nightbite.
Nightmite.
Nightmite.
I'm thinking Nightmite.
Yeah.
Not Bitewing. Yeah, but people don't like that Bitewing, right?
People love it. He's a 3-legged dog superhero. What's there not to love?
No, but it was a controversy on Twitter about it at the time. Like it was the biggest book of the week because of the buzz.
They didn't like it.
Yeah, because everybody they started shitting on Tom King on Twitter and everything.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but
if people hated it so much, they wouldn't have brought him back.
That's true.
No, that's that. Yeah.
Look, you know that there are particular writers at both DC and at Marvel that the fans are like, oh, we hate that. They're gonna make sure they write it back in. You know this. And I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong, mind you. I'm just saying that you know that there's some writers that are like that.
And not only that, but editorial will be like, hey, we need that buzz.
Jeez, that's
Jesus.
They didn't just bring it back. They actually made him real because the Bitewing.
They chopped the leg off a dog?
No, in canon. They made
it
canon.
I thought you meant real life.
In the story that Mo was referencing, it was the dog dreaming that he was helping out Nightwing.
Yeah.
And like he ends up tearing up the apartment and all that. It's a cute little story. But then when Nightmite shows up, he actually gives the dog superpowers and makes him an actual Bitewing to help Nightwing.
Why does the dog have superpowers?
He like poofs him into the costume.
Oh, so it doesn't give him superpowers; you give him an outfit.
Look, he goes from being a regular dog to now he can fight and
he's a vigilante dog.
Yeah, he becomes a vigilante. That's kind of a superpower at that point.
I mean, I don't know, man. I know a lot of puppies that know kung fu. Not all. Most of them have 4 legs, though. I'll give you.
Yeah. So now, I think does any other character besides Batman and Superman have a 5th dimensional being?
Fred Flintstone.
Oh yeah. What's that kid's name?
Kazoo.
Yeah, the Great Kazoo.
I'm not sure. Like, I know there was a thing with Missile Spitlick's son, but I don't know if he's attached to anyone.
So, I didn't even know Mr. Spitlick had a son.
Yeah, he went up against the Teen Titans.
So the Teen Titans have one.
Okay. It's a great issue during a mediocre run of Nightwing. So, Nightwing 98, it stands alone pretty much.
How bad does it hurt you to say that it's a mediocre run of Nightwing?
A lot, and
I know.
I have some concern.
I feel your pain.
I have some concern because every time they add a family member, it's because they're running out of ideas, and so he has a half sister now.
Oh Jesus! So it's not even like a Bat family member; it's like an actual family member.
Yeah, an actual blood relative, and they explain.
I thought you were just talking about a Bat family member, which I'm like, the Bat family's too big. We need to cull the herd right now. Like, we need a friggin'.
The other half that produced this sister is Tony Zuko's wife.
Oh
shit! She's mobbed up too.
Such a bad idea.
So Daddy Grayson was,
Oh Jesus!
Well, that's why he came and killed him.
Listen,
he banged that dude's wife.
He needs to take a page out of Marvel's book and start like repurposing events, and we need like funeral for friends. and just kill like half of the Bat family. Like, oh, well,
wasn't that death of the family?
I kind of agree. Like, Batman keeps picking up these kids, and now they're picking up more family members.
Right.
Nobody knows who fucking Bluebird is, even if she is in that damn TV show. We don't need her.
It's true.
Who knows who the Signal is?
Listen, I'm surprised I know, but you're right. But let me say this though. Yeah, Mo, I think you hit something in a way where you're like, wasn't that death of the family? But if I'm not mistaken, and maybe Oz, you can help me out here. Like, death of the family, only one person died, right?
Yeah, but died. Alfred, right? Didn't he kill Alfred?
Yeah, they killed Alfred in that, right?
I thought that was during City of Bane.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Damn. So no one died in Death of the Family.
Somebody probably did die, but they came back so quick that it didn't matter.
Okay, you're right. I think Alfred did die in City of Bane. And here's the thing. Alfred didn't need to go. Some of these random kids needed to go. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like start at the top. I'm not saying like kill the old ones so the new ones can shine. But if that's what you did, at least I could respect it. Where it's like, if you're like, okay, hey, we want newer and different Bat family members. So you like, if you took out like friggin' Grayson and friggin' like say Jason Todd, it's not what I would do. I think it's a bad choice. But at least I can respect that. It's a choice it's a bold move.
If you're gonna take out one,
and you're clearing the board at least. But they just keep
take out one of the mains. I'm gonna say take out Tim Drake because he's the only one they can't figure out what to do with.
No, I agree with you. Like Tim Drake is probably at this point better off dead than alive, which is sad to say, but it's true. You're right. Like they don't know what to do with him.
Unless they age him up, right? Like he grows because he's still a little kid, right?
No,
Tim Drake's not a kid. He's a young adult.
Okay. Yeah, then they already aged him up.
Yeah, but they don't know what to do with him. They keep trying to push him into these random. Did they even settle on a name for him?
I think he's back to being Robin. I mean, he's been Robin, Red Robin, Drake. Yeah,
like they don't even know what to call this fool. That's how bad they don't. Like they don't have a place for him. They're like, we don't know what. Look, they got names for all these other little random kids running around, like the other 4 and 5. They got names. They don't know what to call Tim Drake, which is crazy. Like, how did this fool not get a good name before? Look, I'm not saying the Signal's a good name, but at least it's an identity. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, look, here's this fool not get one of those.
here's the thing, Larry. Like we learned at WonderCon from the Tom King panel with the other dude that drew was it One Bad Day?
Mitch Gerard's.
Yeah, Mitch
Gerard?
Gerard's. Like
Yeah.
they love working on Batman together, and they love killing people. So that might be
those
their
two
next
guys. Hey, like they need to clean house. Like if the two of them made a story where like literally like 50% of the Bat family just got annihilated, I'm sure they would come up with a good way for that to happen and would have emotional resonance and cats. Like they could do it in one of those like Black Label type books, and I guarantee you within like a year and a half, somebody's gonna write a comic where it just gets brought into the mainstream continuity. Yeah. And we're also like, oh man, it's messed up what happened to all those kids. And it's like, yeah, you're right. that was a tragedy. Like we would care about all those Bat family members more in death than we ever did in life. Oh Jesus!
All right, I'm sorry, I derailed you guys from WonderCon.
Yeah, but I brought it back to WonderCon, so it worked.
So yeah, speaking of which, we got to go see. Well, here's the thing. Look, I'm ashamed to say that I was really excited for the Tom King panel. It was supposed to happen on Saturday, and it got pushed. It got canceled it got postponed from Saturday to Sunday, and that's how it ended up being with Mitch, both of them together, which made sense given all their collaboration. I'm ashamed to say I was excited for it, but up until Sunday, and I think maybe Lloyd said something, and that was when I realized that I was going to a Tom King panel and not a Tom Taylor panel. I was so excited Saturday. I was like, oh man, I really want to see Tom. Like I was saying Tom King, but I was thinking Tom Taylor.
Oh man!
And I was like, damn, I've never seen Tom Taylor. I've never heard him have any. Like I know Tom Taylor does interviews and stuff, but I've never like really like seen him in person or anything like that. And so I was really excited, and I was sitting here like, yeah, man, and freaking Dark Knights of Steel is awesome, and freaking Deceased. I was thinking about all the amazing things he had done, and you know what it was? I feel like, and it might not even been Lloyd. It might have been somebody else mentioned something about Tom King and Vision, and I was like, Tom Taylor didn't do Vision. And that's what, look, when they mentioned the Marvel thing, I guess that was when I was like, wait a minute.
This is Tom King.
I was like, wait a minute, it's Tom King. They messed around and okey-doked me, which they did not okey-doke me. I just have
You okey-doked yourself.
I did okey-doke myself. And don't get me wrong, though. I was like, once I realized it was Tom King, I was like, oh, okay, that's still cool. It's not as cool as Tom Taylor, though.
Like, I was really interested in Tom King because, you know, his whole background with the CIA and all that, and how his books play, like when it comes to like surveillance and just little things that he brings to it, that it's just flavor. Right. Like he doesn't bring like, oh, okay, this is what the government's doing or anything like that, but that little life experience he brings to like a book like Riddler, One Bad Day. It just brings in, and then in this panel you got to see some of why he does that a little bit, and hopefully we'll have that ready for you soon when Larry brings me my sound recorder.
Oh, damn it. Listen, it's so funny because I didn't even realize I had it until you just said something. I'm like, oh, damn it. I sure do have that. Yeah. That panel was fantastic. I really enjoyed it a lot.
And it was really like, well, go ahead, Larry. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, it was just really interesting getting a little bit of insight into the mind of the guys and how much they enjoy working together. And how it is when they work together versus how it is when they work individually, and it's very cool. And I mean, look, they're like one of the biggest moments for the panel for me personally was them talking about like the original pitch for Riddler One Bad Day. And I was just like blown away by what it is that they said, like what they went in there and pitched. And they were like, no. Like DC was just like, no, we're not going to do that. No. And look, and even when they pitched it, like when they were telling us, I was just like, damn, like if that had happened in that book, I don't even know how I would have felt about it. Like, I'm not saying that DC made the right choice, but at the same time, I could understand. Like it's the first time I ever heard editorial tell a creator you shouldn't do that, and I was like, I'm not sure if I wanted them to do that or not. Like usually when I hear those things, I'm like, oh man, the editors, they were out here being punks. They should have like I've never been in that scenario and thought they should not let you do that idea. Like every idea I've ever heard somebody say, oh man, I wanted to do this, and the editors were like, no. I'm like, I'm always like, damn, that would have been amazing. This is the first time I heard an idea, and I was like, wow, like, you know what? That could have been too far. That could have been too far. So yeah, I'll make sure I get that recording to you ASAP, Mo, because I don't want to tease that like that. And like,
yeah,
I'm gonna make sure that I get that to you. Like if not tomorrow, by Friday, I'm gonna get it to you, so that way we can get it up ASAP.
So, and all you listening, that means that that'll be an audio recording. We have some video for it, but with editing and stuff, and the way our cameras work, like they didn't capture all of it. So audio, you're gonna get the full undisturbed version of that panel. And if you go to fantasticforum.live, there's a button to subscribe to any of our outlets for audio podcasts. So go there and you'll get the full. You might get the video stuff here on YouTube as well, but it's not going to be the full thing.
Yeah. So
that panel, what I liked about that, the weirdest thing about that panel was like, oh, Tom King's like, okay, they combined his spotlight into this that we got, and then he's like, oh, I'm only going to be here 45 minutes because I have a meeting to get to, and I can't talk about what it is, but I'm going to leave. And then the 45 minutes comes, and then Mr. Rod's getting up too. Like, where the fuck you going? Like, I got 15 minutes or two left. Like, I have questions, I have art style questions. And then Tom King and Mr. Rod, like, stand and pose for pictures. I'm like, I thought you had a meeting to go to, motherfucker. Like,
hilarious. I mean, in fairness, Tom King did dip out quickly after the pictures, but I feel you. Like if he had a meeting, if he could have been like, "Hey man, I'm sorry, I will do the picture, but I have to go. I told you already, I have to go." He could have done that, but he didn't. But
there was a line of people, and he only did it for one guy.
For one, right? Exactly. Yeah. I did get the chance to talk to Mitch after the panel because he actually did he's done art on a lot of things that I've enjoyed, but one particular story that he did was a book called The Activity, which was him and Nathan Edmondson. And The Activity was a book which I'm pretty sure that we actually reviewed it on Fantastic Forum as well, because I was like, dude, this book is cool. It was like a espionage kind of like a military espionage book, basically. It was like operatives like out in the field, and there was like some spycraft kind of stuff to it, but there was also some like some Ghost Recon kind of like, war fighter on the ground type stuff too. And it was a great book. They did like 3 volumes of it, and then it was gone. And so I wanted to ask him about it. And it was just so funny because what he said to me, he was like, he's like, people ask me about The Activity like you're asking me all the time. And he's like, he's basically said to me, he was like, it's weird for me because I feel like we had a pretty definitive, we did 3 volumes and then we had a pretty definitive ending. And I was like, that's true. I admitted it to him. Like, that's true. I'm like, however, you had what would have been a pretty definitive ending to Volume 1. And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, and you had a pretty definitive ending to Volume 2. And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, so you did Volume 3 and had a definitive ending, but I think we were just spoiled. We were like, you made a third volume, so there was no reason for us to think that there wouldn't be maybe another one, and there was no like announcement or anything like that. Which the book, it's not like the book was like, it wasn't Saga, you know what I mean? So it's not like this like high profile indie book where somebody's like, hey, where is it? Or enough people are like, where is it? So that you have to be like, oh, we're here's the press release of when you'll get the next volume of Saga. It wasn't that kind of book. But for those of us that were fans of it, we were like, man, like, okay, cool. Like, can't wait for Volume 4. And then nothing came. And it's so funny, like, listening to him talk about it, I guess they kind of felt like, oh, yeah, the story's done. And it's like, what made the story done in Volume 3 versus Volume 2 or Volume 1? Like, it's military espionage. Look, the nation's enemies don't just rest. It's not like we're like, oh, we defeated all the terrorists.
World peace.
The end. World peace, right? Exactly. It wasn't Pax Romana, So it's just like there was no reason for us to be like, oh, okay, well, this was obviously the end. And I'm like, man. And I think once I said that to him, he was like, oh no, I feel where you're coming from. I think. Or he might
you might get more now because of you.
Well, look, I literally told him like, hey, well, I'm pretty sure the last volume came out in 2014, and I literally told him like, well, hey man, you got like a 10-year anniversary coming up. If y'all want to do some more, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, hey, there are people out here that will read. I honestly feel like a book like that might actually even do better in this environment than it did back then.
And social media and all that, like the promotional availability of everything right now
I just feel like people are more in tune with all that kind of stuff in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like when that book was originally coming out, like back in like the early 2010s, people were tuned out. You know what I'm saying? Like politically speaking, and I'm not saying people necessarily have informed opinions, but people are definitely more tuned in to the idea of the political landscape, both foreign and domestic now, more so now than they ever were before, 2016. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, there might be a market for a book like that that's even wider than there would have been back in that time when people are like, why do I care about what happens in the Middle East? And so I'm just like, man, like, yeah. But I'm happy to hear when he was like, man, a lot of people ask me that. I'm like, good. It's like, I'm not the only weirdo that's like, where's the activity? Like, I was like, because I didn't even want to ask the question in the panel because I was like afraid, like, Cass would be like, what is the activity? Who's this guy? What's he talking?
But you should have, man. You would have made the panel better. You
would have been a hero.
Well, it wasn't, and it wasn't so much like I cared about what people thought as much as it was like other people have questions. Like I was being overly considerate, and I should not have been. That's more so the idea. Like
you're talking about, like, people get stabbed at panels because they don't get to,
Right. It's like my thought was more so like, oh man, like these guys, like like in my mind, I was like, there was only so many people that like. They're like, I'm thinking I wasn't even here to see Tom King. I was here to see Tom Taylor. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, there are people that here that knew who this panel was going to be before I realized it today. And I'm like, oh, let them ask their questions because they really want to talk to these guys, and they might even have like better questions than I have.
I would argue that you weren't
I was wrong.
Him, and you had better questions than people that were there to see him.
Right. Yeah, and you're right. Like, it was true.
Hey, look, I'm sad Jay left because he had a interesting experience. The guy sitting next to him fell asleep and was snoring.
Right. Wait.
So his video feed, you can hear the dude snoring into Jay's mic.
And I'm pretty sure that's gonna be on all the feeds, okay? Because this
Yeah.
guy was so loud. Like I was like, I'm not. And I apologize for this too, Mo. At first, I thought it was you.
Yeah.
Not because I was like, oh, Mo falls asleep in panels.
Yeah.
But because it was so loud, it sounded like it was like right in my ear where you were sitting.
Yeah.
And I turned to look, and I was like, this fool's awake. No, but I was confused because I was like, does this fool have like a breathing problem? Does he have like it took me like a full 45 seconds to convince myself that you weren't making that noise because it felt like and I was sitting next to Moses, Jay was sitting in front of us. I thought this joint sounded like it was in my ear. And I'm like, the person that's right here next to me is Moses. So I looked at Moses like, it sounded like snoring, but that fool his eyes are open. He is awake. And so I'm like, does he have like some sort of like nasal
awake
condition?
apnea?
Right. Like I'm sitting here, like I'm looking, and I'm like, that's not Moses. But I didn't know who it was because I didn't see the guy next to Jay on the right. Because here's the thing: after I realized it wasn't Moses, I did look at the guy on Jay's left for some reason. Because I was just like, I don't know, he looked like the kind of guy that will be snoring loud like that, but he wasn't. And I felt bad about that too. Because I was just like,
and
that son of
the
a
guy,
bitch.
I was pissed because when Jay told me, hey, did you hear that guy snoring? I didn't, honestly.
Oh,
but
dude, how did you not hear that guy snoring?
I was more focused on the fact that he ruined my shot because I'm trying to record the panel and he sits right in front of me. Like I got the camera, for stability. I'm resting it on the chair. Yeah. He sits right in front of me. I'm like, you motherfucker. So then Lloyd says, hey, just come closer to me. I'll move that and you can get the shot right there. The shot wasn't good after that. Like I had the okay shot at the beginning and that guy ruined it, and he ruined it to fall the fuck asleep.
Dude, he was so loud. So loud. Like I'm telling you, like Oz, please believe me when I tell you, like I was just like if I didn't know better, I would have been like, am I snoring? Is it me? Am I all tuckered out? I'm all look, that was the first time I was sitting down for a while. I'm all tuckered out. Like maybe I'm snoring, but it wasn't me. I was like, dude, it was so loud. But I don't understand because this fool might be a ventriloquist in his spare time or something because I couldn't pinpoint it. I was like, I hear the snore, but I'm like, I don't know where the snore is coming from. Let me tell you like this, Oz. This fool snore was so loud that if I realized it was him, I would have woke his ass up. I'm like, hey man. He was down like, hey man, look, you need to wake up or get out. Like either or. You make your choice, man. Like you better mess around and take this 5-hour energy or get out.
We're trying to listen to Tom Taylor.
Trying to hear Tom Taylor talk, man. You out here disrespecting Tom Taylor. He's like,
that's probably why he left early. He's like, oh, he's fucking falling asleep.
You're right. He was like, he heard this full story. He's like, oh, so does everybody know I got a meeting? Because some bitch right here, freaking sleepy ass. Dude, I love it though, man. I feel like that's such con life. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm not mad at somebody being tired. Because Lord knows it's like cons, especially as you get older, cons can be hard. So I'm not mad at somebody being tired.
Yeah, I was prepared for this con, me being the older guy or us being the older people, but these guys were older than us, or at least they looked.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, like apparently we are still the young con goers because we're like, you know what, we none of us were like, man, I remember the good old days when cons were segregated. It's like, y'all go to the black con over there. We're going to be up here in the good con. Yeah. Like, whoa, wait, what? What's black con bad? Wait a minute. But yeah, man. So, Jay, What was your favorite point or part of WonderCon 2023?
A favorite part?
Yeah,
You know,
or something notable.
I don't know if I had like a favorite or a notable. Like I did enjoy checking out all the cosplayers. That was fun. Seeing characters I recognized.
You photographed a bunch of them, right?
I did photograph a few, like only like a small fraction of what I actually did enjoy, but I did shoot some cosplayers. But even some of the ones I got, like there was a ladybug that I got a picture of, but you couldn't even see how good her costume was because she actually had like the ladybug earrings that you don't see in the picture that were like, man, spot on. But yeah, that was fun for me. The cosplay, checking out all the cosplayers. Saw a bunch of Amities. Saw a Hawkmoth, which was
What's a
surprising.
What's a Hawkmoth?
From Miraculous Ladybug.
Oh, look, forgive me. I don't watch Miraculous Ladybug enough.
I know. It's all right.
Who is Hawkmoth, or what's Hawkmoth look like?
It was a dude he had like a mask drawn on his face and a cane.
Mm-hmm.
And he was with the evil ladybug.
So he looks like a pimp?
Yeah.
But with a mask on?
Yeah.
I feel like pimps
Jay, which one's
Hollywood
this one?
Uh-oh. You adding something?
Me? Oh, I'm supposed
Not
to be
yet.
sharing.
Oh, you're not sharing yet. I'm sitting here like I don't even see like there you go. All right. I was like
screen.
Yeah, that's Hawkmoth, and I can't remember what ladybug that is, but yeah, that's him.
cool.
And the mask is actually drawn on, which is pretty tight.
Oh, so this guy didn't go full costume.
Well, I mean, it's like magical light. There's no magical light in reality.
You know, a Sharpie and some glitter, and you're good, right? That's all you need.
Well, that's what he did. Like, it's literally like marker on his face. You just can't really see it that well at this dimension. Like this size, you can't really see it. But yeah,
this guy did have the Sharpie.
Huh?
This guy did actually have a
Yeah.
drawn-on thing. Oh, okay. Well, my apologies to whoever this man is.
Yeah.
It's Hawkmoth.
And he's got the little
Wait,
tie
looks like a pimp.
Listen, definitely looks like but here's the thing. Jay described it, and I was like, that's definitely a pimp. And I was like, pimps should have masks on in the real world. Like, why mess around and reveal your identity if you don't have to? Like, pimping is illegal.
And that's why
this was a great costume.
That is Miss Bellum from Powerpuff Girls. Her thing was she was a super competent assistant to the mayor who you never saw her face. And her cosplay, yeah, like is spot on. The hair covers her face so you can't see her. Like, that's just amazing.
Where was this taken? Because it looks pretty empty behind her.
This was Sunday, like the last day, and it's heading towards the exit.
And it was towards the end of the day too, right? Middle of the day.
Like I think that's one of the last ones I took.
Okay, so people are already clearing out.
Yeah.
Oh yes, the MODOK that's better than the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it.
So awesome. I love that MODOK. With the Moon Knight behind there, like friggin' being stalkery. Hey, Moon Knight, like, I like pictures. Moon Knight, get out of here. No one asked you for your picture, Moon Knight. Get out of here. It's a good Moon Knight too, though.
That MODOK
It's like comic.
That MODOK is so good. Like when Jay was like, "Hey, check out that MODOK," and I could, like right there, right by the miss something or other, and I'm like, I can't see, I don't see it, and I didn't know to look at her head, and then she kind of turned around to see, and I see the little baby leg, and I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Her whole body was the booster, which is like phenomenal. Because Jason did the same thing to me. He's like, look at that MODOK over there. He's like, look at the orange and yellow cape, the orange and yellow cape. And I'm like, Joe, MODOK don't have no cape. Like, in my mind. I didn't say that to Jay.
Like,
I was
Joe
just
gone
like,
crazy. He doesn't even know what
in my head, I 100% was like, how is Jay like, look at that MODOK and how good it is, talking about a orange cape. And I'm just like, but because I know Jay and I give Jay the benefit of the doubt, I looked in the direction. I didn't say nothing to him. I wasn't like, Jay, you dumb. But I thought it. And then I realized what was happening, and I was like, damn it, why would I ever doubt Jay? why would I ever doubt Jay? Like, and that's why I was like, I'm happy I kept it internal. Because if I had said something crazy to Jay, I would have felt bad about it because
now you're gonna doubt him, and then you're like, man, I should have doubted him like the next time.
That might be true. But now when it comes to MODOK, Joe knows good MODOK.
Yeah, classic Jay.
And that's a great costume, man. I just love it.
I don't know who this
is.
Is.
One of the three Amities I saw, Amity Blight from the Owl House. Her costume is pretty good. That's her casual wear.
Spyro. Spyro gave me a diamond.
Yeah, she was giving out gems.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Larry got the blue one.
I did.
I thought I got one too somewhere around here. I had it here, but that's the same Spyro.
Yeah, but with the wings out. I don't know why that got uploaded twice. So I can't not recall these characters' names, but they're the main antagonists of Borderlands 3. And you can see, like, they got the cell shading.
Yeah.
Like, really well.
I think
the hair right
here. I
here.
think that is Handsome Jack, but I don't know who the other one is.
Right. Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Nobody remembers her name.
But she's our main antagonist. Oh, Waldorf and Sadler from the Muppet Show.
I should have had them in the booth just talking crap to everybody walking by.
That's what they did. Like, so they were walking around, and then they would stop and put this down and do that.
Oh man, that's funny.
Red Skull.
Oh, dude, I did not want to talk to this Red Skull.
Dude, his like when he talked, like the movement of the mask was like still spot on. Like,
it's terrifying.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Like, I feel like that person is probably actually a Nazi in real life. Like, that's how good the cosplay is. I'm like, I would have a hard time believing that they actually care about people that they don't think of as having pure bloodline.
It was almost like a special effect thing because he even had the eye texture like down.
It was amazing. Like, this fool walked into the booth and I was like unsettled. Yeah, I'm happy that I did not see this person because I don't like it. There's a reason I haven't played the Last of Us video game. Like, I've had friends like tell me that I need to play the Last of Us because they're like, they know I like stories, and they're like,
really good.
Yeah, and so I'm really happy that they just made it into a TV show, and now I don't have to play it. I could just like watch Pedro Pascal and oh man, I feel bad. What's the young lady's name that's playing Ellie? She's fantastic too. But,
can't
yeah,
think of her name.
I can watch Joel and Ellie on TV, and like here's the thing, I always say I get immersed, you know what I'm saying, and so I'm more immersed and invested. Like I'm very immersed and invested in the show when I'm watching it. Like it feels like I'm there. It feels even more so that way when I play a video game because I'm controlling the action. Like as far as I'm concerned, I'm that person on the screen. So I don't know if I can do it. Like even knowing that like a lot of the story beats I know now because I watched the show, and I still don't know that I could do it. I'm like, nah, I think I'm good.
Like you never
So,
like feel like you're the monster.
Oh.
Yeah, me neither.
Look, it's like I honestly like I don't get to play a lot of the that was something about the asymmetrical multiplayer kind of trend thing that I was hoping would take root. Like the idea of being able to be like the monster or the bad guy is appealing to me. But it didn't really take hold, and all the other I feel like the biggest asymmetrical multiplayer game is what, Friday the 13th, right?
Yeah.
Well,
or
Playtime is actually doing pretty good right now.
a Man-Eater.
Wait,
which
Man-Eater?
Is
Man-Eater Project Playtime?
Wait, I don't know what either one of those games are. Wait, what's Moses? What's Man-Eater, and then Jay? What's Project?
That's where you play like essentially like your Jaws, like you play as a shark.
Oh, I remember that game. That's not called Man-Eater, is it?
It's not. What's it called?
But I don't know. I'd have to look because. But maybe you're right. But I remember the shark game, and the shark game did look kind of fun, but
that wasn't an asymmetrical thing, was it? I thought that was just an open world RPG.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think it is. Yeah,
that's not asymmetrical.
But you get to be the monster, the bad guy.
Hello from work, y'all. From Taking Tugboat. What up, Taking Tugboat? It's been way too long. Huzzah, Taking Tugboat. I hope work.
See, look, it is called Man-Eater.
Well, I think he was confused because you said asymmetrical.
Oh,
yeah, a little bit.
I don't know what asymmetrical means.
Basically, uneven teams.
What did you say?
Yeah,
uneven teams. Yeah.
Uneven teams.
These are uneven teams. So you have like basically one person that's like extra powerful, that's generally fighting like multiple people on the other team that are less powerful, but there's more of them. So like the Friday the 13th game is an example of that, because there's one person that gets to play like Jason, and everybody else is like, what are they, campers or
horny teens?
Whatever?
No, not campers. They're counselors.
Counselors. There you go. So
then you have Dragon Ball The Breakers, where one person will play as like Frieza or Boo, Majin Buu, or Cell, and the other 4 or 5 people will be playing as just regular citizens like Bulma, Oolong, and the such, trying to get away from them.
What was the title of that again?
Man-Eater?
Title of what?
The game Jay's talking about.
Project Playtime, which is you play a monster toy infused with the soul of a human, and you're against 4 just regular lab guys who are trying to get different tools so that they can fight you.
Yeah. Taking Tugboat says DB Breakers was not that fun. And that's the whole thing. Again, Jay?
So it's the only one where Dragon Ball game where you can play as Bulma.
Oh, and that's what makes it fun? Or that's just where you're just notable.
That's where my interest lies. Like I've always wanted to play as her, but since she's not a fighter, you never really get that option.
The game that was really trying to popularize that asymmetrical thing was Evolve back in the day, which unfortunately wasn't a game that really took off. But you played as a monster that was able to like basically evolve all types of.
I remember
additional.
Fable tried to do that too for a little bit. I don't know if that ever came out.
No, I'm not sure. It might have. But Evolve was like you played a monster and you had like different evolutions that you could add to your thing, and there were like 4 like soldier, like Space Marine type things that had to kind of fend you off. And yeah, it didn't take off, unfortunately. Like I said, I think Friday the 13th is probably the only asymmetrical multiplayer game that I could think of that actually kind of has like a solid following, you know. But and even that's like more cultish, you know. It's not like it's like a mega hit. it's just a game that people that like that play. So yeah.
And Project Playtime wouldn't really be on your radar, just because it's based off of a horror game.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
but yeah, that's doing. Well, yeah, it gives us a cultish following, but the people that have played it seem to enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. Like, I don't think that the play style is the problem. I think it's just, you know, like maybe like I feel like the development, like the people that have the resources don't necessarily put all of the resources they could into that play style just because it's not proven. You know, it's like you need kind of like a breakout hit before people are like, oh, okay, we need like think of it like Battle Royale, right? For the longest time, it was just what is that? PUBG, right?
Right.
And until that garnered a certain amount of notoriety, it wasn't until then that the rest of the industry was like, oh, we should be doing that. And then everything got up by the Battle Royale. You got Battle Royale, Pac-Man, Battle Royale, Tetris. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what asymmetrical is just, it's not always easy to play the role you want to play.
Yeah. That's true. Like you have to like queue up to be like if you want to be it's like the single rider line, right?
Right.
Like sometimes you got to wait in that line a while for there to be nobody that, you know, one of those single seats open.
Yeah.
So, because all these people have friends, how dare they? Sons of bitches.
Back to WonderCon.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things that I saw was Jay's doppelganger. Like he left. He's like, yeah, fuck this.
How did he know you were going to talk about that? He's gone. He's like, I'm out.
Intuition, man. Intuition. He's got that gut instinct. But I didn't queue up a video. Like you're gonna have to follow us on socials if Jay says it's cool that I posted.
Right.
I haven't checked with him yet, but
yeah, that's cool.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you'll see that tomorrow on our socials. Cause yeah, it's a glitch in the matrix. I look and I'm like, Jay, what the fuck? And
this dude had Jay's posture down pat.
I sent the video. I sent the video to Oz like directly.
Oh,
like,
good. So you saw it, Oz.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of that, Oz?
It was freaking me out because I'm like, but he's there, but then he's over there.
It's uncanny, man. It's uncanny.
Yeah.
And then I asked Jay, hey, can I take a picture with the two of you? Like, and then Jay said no. Like, man.
Take it. Tugboat says Jay is such with his double. Like, we don't even know if this is the real Jay. Like, are you a fake ass Jay from the con?
Well, that other Jay like sells comics, so it's like we need that guy too. Like, we got two J's.
Look, quote unquote Jay, I need you to verify your identity real quick. Tell me something only I would know. How do I know it's you? How do I know you're not fake Jay from the con that came off the screen and went back onto this screen? Like, how do I know?
Good question.
That's what fake ass Jay would say. Damn. We have an imposter in our midst. Like, we're doing friggin' real life Among Us right now. But yeah, man. No, that was actually pretty funny. Because I know, like, I honestly, I'm not really one to, like, when people are like, oh, such and such reminds me of such and such, or it looks like such and such. I'm often the one that's like, no, man. Like, I kind of see where you're coming from, but I'm like, not really. Like, they're very different. Hey, don't get me wrong. I will say this. There's no part of me that would look at that guy and mistake him for Jay, because they don't necessarily look alike, like facial structure, but something about the mannerisms and the posture. I was like, damn, I get it. Like, and the other thing was
it's a similar haircut and the glasses.
Yeah. They had like the same complexion. They both had glasses on. They had the same haircut. I was
similar
just
jacket.
Oh, wow,
like they were dressed similar.
Taking Tugboat says, ask him how he feels about the last Ronin trailer. If he says more than 3 words, he's a fake. Damn. He got, like, Taking Tugboat got you on your silent assassin tip.
And that's the thing. Like, Larry, you were like, yo, that guy is not his double. He's talking. and Jay's like, yeah, he is talking.
That makes him
here.
Oh, I can't say it because I'm talking about Jay. The Negaverse. I gotta pronounce that properly.
Whoa!
The NEGA. There's an A.
Wow!
Nega J.
What? I was like, you must be NIGGA. Wait, what'd you say, Oz?
No, 1G. Wait, is it 1G or 2? There's no I or ER. And that's okay.
I actually have it queued up if you want. If you guys, the audience wants to see Jay's doppelganger, got it queued up.
Right. If Jay's the silent assassin, then the talking Jay would obviously be his from the Upside Down, right? Like we expect that.
Oh, that's pretty funny, man. Like, from that angle, it definitely looks like it's like a Jay doppelganger. Like, if he turned and looked at the camera, it'd have been different, but damn it, Jay. Listen.
And you guys thought to have Jay interview him?
I wanted to, but yeah, like it just didn't happen. And that guy had the most awesome, like I felt like he had a pop that was the McFarlane Batman pop with the comic book in the box, and I should have bought it. That's my regret. I didn't buy it. I asked for permission, my wife for permission, but she told me to do whatever the fuck I wanted, and that usually means like
you're like you made the right
no,
call.
it just means yeah, it's like I don't have any space for it. Like, that's the only thing. I just don't have space.
Taking Tugboat says, just don't drop that and don't drop at hard R and you're okay. Look, there's no R And I mean, you have no idea when Preacher came out. I was mad at the actress because she's black and her last name is Nega.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, well, that actress Ruth.
I feel like right. You should just refer to her by her first name.
Well, I was mad. I was mad because she was black, and if they wrote it like the comic, she couldn't use the N-word as effectively.
Dude, it's so funny because I saw a video of this guy talking about how somebody used the hard R, and it's so funny because he was using it wrong, and the guy like he was talking to was like, really? And he was like, yeah, and and he was just like, as he was talking, the other guy was like, I don't think you're using that in the way that you intend to. And this guy was actually talking about mentally disabled people and the term for mentally disabled people and calling that the hard R. And he was like, nobody uses that in that way. That's not what that means. He had to like educate him. He was like, is that not what that? He's like, no, that's not what the hard R is for. And it was just so funny because I was like, that's hilarious that this guy doesn't and I guess I'm not mad at him because he's somebody that obviously doesn't use the N-word, so he doesn't know what the hard R means. But in his world, he somehow like made a reality where the hard R refers to is the derogatory way of how you refer to mentally disabled people, and that made me laugh. So we're just like, that is funny. Like in a way, I'm like, I get it. Like in some ways, like that maybe that should be called the hard R. It just can't now. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's not using the hard R. It's like we got the N-word, we got the hard R.
Because we're talking about,
we got the terrible T. You know, like we don't should be using none of those words. You know what I'm saying?
Since we're on the topic of race relations, I experienced passive racism at WonderCon, and I don't think anybody saw it. I just saw it just because, like, you know how my observational skills can get in situations. That's why I drink all the time, because I just want to be numb to my surroundings a little bit. But when we were talking to Floyd, Larry, there was these two cops that walked by. They were just surveying the area, but when they got close to you and Floyd talking, they held their guns, and then as they passed, right when they passed Floyd, they let go. But it's just coming up close to our group, they held their guns, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like. And it was really because, we were talking loud, we're laughing and everything because there's other black people, but I don't know, like, what made him feel like that was like a potential, like he needed to hold his gun in that moment.
It was like instinctual.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that. Jay was, chatting up a lady, so I don't know if you noticed that, but
no, I didn't notice that.
Wait, it's so funny because, well, let me put it like this. I didn't notice that the officers put their hands on their guns. I did notice when they walked by because,
yeah, you got to.
As a person of color, right? Exactly. Yeah. You're just like, hey, when police enter the area, you always kind of at least keep an eye out because you're like, oh, like
our internal mother, my mother's voice, like, be cool, be cool.
Hey, it's like we weren't doing anything wrong. Obviously, we're in the middle of a Comic-Con. It's like, dude. Like, who's out here, like, but I did not see that, and I'm glad I didn't because I don't want to, I don't need to see that. I don't need anything ruining my good time, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
that's why I didn't bring it up until now. Yeah, I ruined this good time. It's bad enough they tried to convert me.
Right. I was about to say, like, that was a wild thing too, because we were standing there, like Oz. We're standing here having this conversation. It's literally me. Like, Jay went and got food. So he's sitting at a table, like maybe like 4 or 5 feet away from us, right? But close enough that he can hear the conversation we're having. We're all standing up talking. It's me, Moses, Moses' friend Lloyd, who came to come and hang out, and then Floyd, which I don't even know if you remember Floyd, Oz, but he's like the guy that used to help get us into like the E3 parties back in the day.
Of course I do, Floyd. Yes,
right. And here's the thing: when Floyd came up and started speaking to us, I didn't recognize him, because here's the thing: Floyd's signature for me, like, Floyd was a dude that was like pole thin and had like a huge, like almost like a mane of locks.
You're making me think he's dead.
No. Well, I'm talking past tense because he doesn't have these locks anymore. He used to have like a full head of locks, and so
he went corporate.
No, I mean he shaved them. I don't know.
Well, you should have been there, because he gave us the whole story of how uncorporate it is.
Right.
For him.
I'm certain it wasn't a decision to get work, because Floyd was getting work before when he had the locks, but he decided to cut them off, and he's in the process of growing them back. But like literally, like he's in like the very, very beginning stages of growing them back, right? And so I didn't recognize him at first. And you know me, when I don't recognize people, I don't fake the funk. I'm just like,
you just keep walking.
Well, no, I don't keep walking. Like, I'll just be like, hey, remind me, help me.
Back, peasant. I have not.
Yeah. And I'm looking, and it's so funny because Mo recognized him before I did. And I was just like, he said something. I can't even remember what he said. And I was like, oh, like I recognized him. No, you know what he said was, he said, oh, so because I don't have locks, you don't even know who I am? You know what I'm saying? And because when he said that, I was able to picture his face with the locks, and I saw it. I was like, oh, it's Floyd. And I was just like, dude, blown away, because I hadn't seen this dude in years. And so we started talking, right? And so again, Jay is sitting there eating. Me, Moses, Floyd, and Lloyd, which sounds like it's Larry, Mo, Floyd, and Floyd. That sounds like a joke, but it's not a joke.
We're hanging out in
right.
Mayberry.
Right, exactly, right. So we're all sitting there and we're literally just talking, right? This random dude comes up. He he walks like past the group and then kind of busts a U-turn. And he just comes into we're literally in the middle of a conversation. He cut Floyd off. Floyd was talking. And he was like, hey guys, how's everybody doing? What's your name? And we're just like, that's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong, especially at a con. It's like, dude, if you're making friends, you're making friends. And there's nothing wrong with being socially awkward, especially let me put it like this. Every other person I have a conversation with at a comic book convention, I fully expect to be socially awkward. So it's no problem, the idea that you come into the conversation and it's like a little off. But I thought this dude was gonna be like, hey, he's maybe trying to make friends. He doesn't know how to do it. I thought he was gonna come in and try to be like, hey, so what are you guys talking about? Y'all seem like you're having a good time or something like that, right? This dude messed around and asked, I think he asked Floyd his name, and then was like, hey, have you all what do you ask?
Do you believe in the higher power? Do you believe in a higher power?
Do you believe in a higher power? And right from there, I'm just like, is this fool about to friggin' minister to us right here in this conversation? Which again, it's like, I don't have a problem with even having a conversation about religion, but my guy, like, you don't know how to ease into this? You know? I was just like, and the thing is, like, it's so funny because it blew my mind because it's like Jay and I had literally went to the
Christianity and pop culture.
Yeah, the Christianity and pop culture panel that morning. Like, we went to the and which literally ended in a sermonette. Like, there was a minister there that did a sermonette on friggin' the parallels between He-Man and the Masters of the Universe and the kingdom of God. You know what I'm saying? Like, talking, and it was amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were like, dude, like, so again, it's not even like, you know, like, I'm a Christian, Jay's a Christian. It's like, this is not even a thing where it's like, oh, I don't want to hear this. I have no problem about talking about religion, and especially like somebody was like, you know, if you want to ask about my status in regards to being saved and all that kind of stuff, even like I've had those conversations before and have had people like transitioned into those conversations in a way where I'm like, oh yeah, like, you know, let's talk about it. No thing. But this dude, I was like, man, this is like his first day ever deciding to, like, you know, friggin' to spread the word of Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. Like this like this was an evangelism 099. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, damn, like, you're real bad at this. Like, I'm out here like already a Christian. Like, maybe I should not do this. You know, you got me out here thinking like, Mo's right. These Christians are no good. You know,
I made him the argument that like Jesus is Superman.
You did make that argument,
and then he ran away.
It was so awkward, like to the point. Look, this is how awkward it was. He comes in, he's talking. Floyd just was quiet. I was trying to like actually move this dude along. Mo started engaging him, and the dude was trying to defend, like, you know, his position a little bit, and Mo was like crushing him. And that like, I think Mo's crushing got him to be like, okay, I'm gonna go on and do my thing, and he went on. And it was so awkward that Jay stopped eating and was like, what the fuck was that? We were all like, for real, dude. Like, look.
And Jay was with a little kid, like not with a little kid, but there was a little kid eating across from Jay, and Jay's like, what the fuck was that? Cursing in front of the little kid.
The woman that was across from Jay was kind of like, ooh, like, you know, like she was trying to be nice about like trying to like softly defend the guy, but at the same time she realized like, nah, like he was wrong. Like she couldn't really justify what he was doing, especially considering it was just like, dude, like you literally stopped our conversation dead to have your conversation, and it's not even like you were like, oh, like adept at it. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing where it's like, there's a way that this fool could have come in and maybe like been charismatic and be like, oh, schmack, like, where are we going with this? You know, where we could be like, well, look, we might have been like, damn, you shouldn't have done that, but you kind of have us hooked in a little bit. Let's talk about what you want to talk about. But this fool was like a freaking, like a rock. You know what I'm saying? This fool was like, this fool had the audacity to stop our conversation dead and then don't even have the decency to be interesting. You know? Like, son of a bitch, like, we were having a good conversation. We need you to leave. We just need you to go. And it's like, look, it's sad. I'm like, damn, I want Jesus to be with me at all times, but if it's a choice between messing around and hanging out with you and having Jesus present, or you being gone and you taking Jesus with you, I think you might need to go. Like, I'll take a shot. I'll take a chance on my own.
What I should have told them,
just for these steps.
What I should have told them was like, if you go to heaven, I don't want to go.
What are you gonna say,
that question is just it's a bad approach at a Comic-Con. I mean, it's a bad approach in general, because you ask somebody you believe in a higher power, dude could be a Satanist and be like, well, yeah, technically, yeah, the Lord Lucifer is in fact. But now you're doing it at WonderCon. It's like, well, Galactus shows up, then we all in trouble.
And the wild part was the panel that Jay and I had went to in regards to friggin' Christianity and pop culture literally just was talking about, before the sermonette, was talking about how people shouldn't do what this guy was doing. Like, they were just like, one guy was talking about how, his booth is literally like a cosplay repair booth. And he's a Christian that likes pop culture. And he goes to Comic-Cons and he's just like, hey, if you need repairs on your costumes, come to the booth. I got safety pins, I got tape, I got, and that's how he offers like services to the people of the community that he loves. And if he happens to be able to like talk to somebody about Jesus and how much, like how Jesus's love can help and save them, he'll do that too. Because sometimes people, like you said, he was just like, sometimes people are just like, well, why do you do this? And he, that's like a door for him to like, an opening for him to talk about his faith and why he does what he does. Another group or another person on that same panel. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
Oh, no, I think I was going to say what you're about to say.
No, but you go, you say it.
Yeah, another person on the panel, and I see a few people were talking about the yellow sign Christians and how they don't really do the religion any favors by, with the signs and the doom and gloom and like preaching at people who are just trying to like have a good time at the con. And so they like will have to deal with people like with separating themselves from them. Like when they talk to people, they will ask like, are you like them? And it's like, no, we're not really with them. We kind of feel this way. And we're out here trying to help people, trying to enjoy the con. And, if we get to talk about Jesus, like do that. And the guy was like, yeah, well, we don't do yellow signs. We just we go out and just hand people bottles of water. Like,
right.
It's hot. July, San Diego, it's fucking hot out. I mean, he didn't say fuck, but so we're out there, like being helpful, being Christianly, like what Jesus would do.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that's the whole thing where it's like
another example. Another example is still like the booth we broadcasted out of, that's like what he does, and he has his faith and he has his organization and he wants to be part of the convention. He wants to have the people that he likes, that his community, know about what he has to offer, whether it's faith-based or education-based,
Right. Right. Absolutely.
AUHS.edu.
There it is. There it is. American University of Health Sciences. Yeah, look, they look. We appreciate them having us out at WonderCon 2023. But yeah, it was just so funny, man, because I was just like, wow, like it was like so weird being in that service earlier that morning and then that afternoon, because that was like literally at lunchtime that we went out there, to have somebody come and literally be like the personification of what they were saying. How people shouldn't act as Christians. And it was just like, wow. Like he didn't even ask us, like what we do or don't believe in. Like he, that believe in higher power, but then he was just like, okay, well, let me go into my spiel. And it's like, dude, like You weren't even a part of our conversation. Like, why do you feel like we want to hear what you have to say? Like, like, why would you assume that? You know. But anyway, enough of that. What else do you all want to say about WonderCon?
I found out that Jay is a fake ass Lovecraft fan.
Damn. There it is, Jay.
Because
Defend
he said
yourself.
that he said I was a fake ass Lovecraft fan because I didn't go watch the horror that came to Gotham on Friday. But then they were going to replay it on Sunday, and then Joe didn't go for that. So he's a fake ass animation fan.
Damn.
I mean,
All of animation.
Does he have
It
to watch
came out yesterday, and I've already watched it.
Okay, so you up until yesterday you were a fake ass Gotham fan.
Nah, listen. I'm gonna say he still is. I'm gonna say he still is. I don't care what you watch.
You guys met me in front of my house on Saturday, and the first thing he says, "You're a fake ass Lovecraft fan," and I'm like, "I believe it." What happened? Because he didn't watch. I'm like, oh yeah, I heard that was supposed to come out at WonderCon. Yeah, I didn't watch it. We're busy preparing for Saturday.
That's funny.
And drinking with Larry's friend Rob.
Woo! Yeah, man. Yeah, Robert's in Vegas right now, but Rob definitely came and hung out, which was awesome because we don't get to. Rob and I don't get to do cons that often. Like even though we both Robert and I have been friends since I was in 4th grade, and so this fool and I watched a lot of anime, a lot of comics, like all this stuff. Look, whatever Jay showed me, I shared with Rob. Like that. And it was like one of these things where because he lives in Orange County, he was able to just fall through. And so Rob was there when the Transformers came for drinks, which was awesome. Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, that was super cool, and I was glad I got to experience that. I think he's in Vegas right now.
Yeah, that's what you said earlier.
There it is. Anyway. Enough of that. So I mean, we definitely have a lot of content coming. There's already content on the YouTube channel if you want to see some interviews. I saw that we have the interview with Eddie D'Angelini up there already.
Mm-hmm. And he gave us the Volume 6 of the Collectors. My favorite cover, the American Splendor tribute. So I got that. I actually signed it myself because I thought I signed the plastic because I don't want to write on my comic. But technically, I don't know. It's not this one, but I think probably the out of print ones I am credited on because of the crowdfunding. So I could sign those for you if you go to buy them at collectorscomic.com.
Bring them to San Diego.
Yeah.
And we also have I saw we have the interview with the writer of the last Final Girls.
Yeah.
Too.
Mr. Isaac.
Kudos to all these indie people that are out there getting their books on Amazon digitally. It's there have been so many cons where I've seen an interesting looking book and was like, is it available digitally? It's like, no, we have it right here. It's like, well, I'm not taking that shit. But now people are putting them out. It's like, I've got 2 books I gotta buy Friday because I can.
Right.
Can't take paper. He's got that allergy.
Well, the thing is, it's look, we're trying to review the book Isom. Oz, you bought that book.
Yeah.
It traveled from Chicago by hand, like Pony Express, till I got it. And it's like there's no reason why that book should take this long to review.
Yeah.
And it's part of it's logistical, but it's like it's only logistical because it's physical.
By the time we get to that book, part 2 is going to be out.
Well, look, that's perfect. It's fresh content then. It went stale and then it's fresh.
Indeed,
And
man.
but that's like I got to speak to somebody. The video will be up probably tomorrow or Friday, and it was her first book that she like. It's the first time at a convention, first book, first everything, and she doesn't even have a website yet, but she has a published book, and I was like, man, like this is like a good experience for me, like being just witnessing that because the way they had the small press area, like nobody was going there. Like they need to integrate that with Artist Alley or something because they actually have like the main floor sandwiched in between the Artist Alley, which is a decent size Artist Alley, and then but small print is like under the other side, which you still have to like cross a wall to get to. And if there's nothing for you there, yeah, like I don't know, like I hope they got a discount on it, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but definitely like I'll bring you that book. And it was literally like she just walked up to us and she's like, hey, you like buttons? I'll give you a button. And it was this little button with this little character. I don't know if you can see it, but let me see here. I don't have autofocus right now, so
No, you're good.
But I like the art in it. And so I'm like, oh, well, tell me about it. You mind if I record you telling me about it? So it's just a spiel, and you're going to get that probably before the end of the week for sure. And another one was they had a T-Pub. What is it called? The publisher called T-Pub they'll give you 10 free comics. And I'm going to share that for you here. You might want to take a little screenshot. But basically, like they had a challenge where read a few pages and don't want to buy it, then you challenge. But everybody
Say that one more
failed.
time, Mo?
So everybody they had the challenge, and the challenge was if you read like the first like few pages or whatever, you would and you didn't want to buy it, then you beat the challenge. But a lot of people kept losing the challenge, like they bought it, and my sister-in-law Liz was one of them. And they had a thing where they just had a whatchamacallit, a QR code, and you just go give them your email and they send you 10 free comics. And that's it cool. Right there.
Listen, you're not gonna mess around and like it's hard for me to turn away free comics. Like I don't know that I've ever done it. I don't know that anybody's ever handed me a comic and like, oh, it's free, and I'll just be like, no, thank you.
Yeah, but they even did that. They gave us a physical copy, and Jay was like, no, thank you. But well, Larry, you got to read their comic, right? The finally. You read Finely Tuned, which is like an ash can, which I haven't seen ash cans at a comic convention in a long time, and they kicked it old school with an ash can, and the ash can is actually a pretty high quality printing. But
100%. Not only was it high quality, but in my experience, a lot of the time, which I'm not mad at, an ash can, in my experience in the past, is usually like undersized. You know what I'm saying? Where it's a smaller book. And it makes sense because, the ash can is like literally like a teaser and you're trying to produce more of them at less cost so that you can hand them to people, give them away for free. And people are like, oh, like this actually was interesting. Let me look for like the full book, when it comes out, or let me go back and buy the full book if it's available. But this was like a full-sized ash can book with just less pages, you know what I'm saying? Which I'm not exactly sure if it was how many pages it was. It might have been like 8 pages or 10, something like that. It definitely wasn't a full page count for a comic book. It wasn't 22 pages. But like you said, high quality, full size, I don't think it was full color. I think it was like maybe like it wasn't black and white though. It might have been grayscale. Or it might have even had like a color. You know what I'm saying? Like a single color, like grayscale with a single color, which is something that happens in Ashcan sometimes too, right? Where they're just like they might use one color because again, colors cost money.
Yeah.
So right.
And to just be differentiated from the real thing too.
Right. Right. But just to add context, I did in fact read Finely Tuned, and what I read it was actually during the conversation with the Doctor Who fan at lunch. where I was just like, once I realized, like, oh, I'm not sure if this guy really wants to like talk to me. I was like, let me just open this book up and like, you know, let me eat this burrito and read. And so, but what I will say, man, is Finely Tuned is an apt title. It's a horror comic, and it definitely has a vibe. And I know for me, I was just like, I was pulled in like literally from page 1, but as it progressed, I got pulled further and further in, and I was definitely like, dude, like I need to know more about what's happening here and why it's going down like this, because it was basically like, well, I don't want to say a torture scene, but I guess it was more like an execution, but the person was like talking to the dude that was gonna get executed because he was gonna electrocute him. And so he was like talking to the person that was in like this makeshift electric chair and basically like kind of like talked to him about, well, you know, when I flip this switch to electrocute you, this is what is going to happen to you. And it was just a whole conversation about like electrocution and how it's portrayed in the media and why these things are true and these things are false, and what bothers the person that's getting ready to flip the switch about how it's portrayed in the media. And it was just a really interesting and stellar conversation. Like the person in the chair is literally gagged. So they can't even respond, even though they try, because you know that's what happens when you're gagged, right? Like, you know, if you're gagged in a makeshift electric chair and somebody's talking about they're about to flip the switch, you're like, you know, and that's what happens in the book where the person, you know, and I'm just like, dude, like this is intense, and like, yeah, like, and then it kind of ends with you actually like seeing the person that is like flipping the switch, and it's just like this image of this individual that's just like pretty like you definitely, once you see the person, there's definitely more questions you have than answers. So, which is like, I'm like, dude, like from a teaser perspective, I'm like, oh man, this is damn near perfect, because it gives you like its own like little self-contained scene that basically has like its own arc to it, and then a hook where you're just like, you know, do you want to know more? And it's like, of course you do. Like, yeah, absolutely you do. So I was like, man, Finely Tuned is like, yeah, like I said, aptly named. I'm like, damn, like I'm waiting for that joint to release because I want to know more.
Yeah, you loved it so much you rolled up my copy of it.
Listen, I whatchamacallit, I was like, I tried to put it in my little bag to take with me. And Jay was like, I'm sorry, Mo was like, hey man, what are you doing with my comic? And I'm like, oh, nothing. I was like, oh, you want this? Okay, you son of a bitch. No. But yeah, no, I mean, like The other part that's interesting too is that keeping in mind that I get, like I've always said, I get real immersed in these things in media, whether it's comics, television, movies, games, and so horror wise, like comics is probably the only way I personally can do horror, just because I feel much more in control of things with a comic than I do in any other medium, just because like the other mediums, like a TV, a movie, a game progresses at a particular pace. If I get too tense with whatever I'm reading, I can just like stop. I can look away. You know what I'm saying? Like I can stop reading, and it's like I feel more in control there. And so like the most comfortable way for me to get a horror fix is inside of a comic book. And so this was like, oh wow, like this is like, it feels like this story is going to be fantastic. So I'm excited about reading more.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Their Twisted Dark series. It's like dark, thrillery type of stuff with a twist, and it's always different every issue. But they're like on number 8. But I remember buying number 1 when that's all they had, and watching them kind of expand is kind of cool too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually overheard you talking to the lady, and she was talking about Twisted Light.
Yeah.
And that actually sounds kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I like horror. Like, I like horror.
Yeah.
But light twists can be fun.
Well, and that's the thing. If they feel they can actually give you the goods and they try, like wow, like they're gonna give you good stuff. They had a science one too. I forget, called Theory, and that one is more like it's more like a science fiction version of these. And yeah, definitely like more. I feel the way she explained to me is more like the Twilight Zone, and I'm like, I'm in. Like, I like that.
And I was out because they don't keep the naming scheme.
Yeah. You want Twisted Science?
Yeah, that I would have been on board with.
Like, you wanted Fate of the Furious to be number 8?
What?
Was that like, because remember, like you didn't like Fast and the Furious 5 because the naming scheme was off?
Wasn't it Fast 5?
Yeah, but I remember he had an issue with that, and then he had an issue with number 8 also.
Fate of the Furious?
Oh, I don't remember. But if you say so, that's probably true. But I'm fine with it now. Looking forward to Fast 10.
Fast X.
Fasten?
So is there any other WonderCon stuff?
Oh, Part 9 was just F9, huh?
No, it wasn't F9, was it?
That's yeah.
Oh, but the number, not those, not spelled out. Yeah,
F9.
I think that unless Emily wants to come and grab the mic and talk about her experience, but she says she doesn't want to. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool.
So final thoughts?
Let me play this outro music. Let's see here.
You want me to do it?
I got it.
All right, Jay, give me some final thoughts, buddy.
They made a lot of changes between the comic and the animated movie, The Doom That Came to Gotham, but I can see why they did it. I think that's all I got.
Oh, okay. look, you sound like you were about to say something else. So I was waiting for the look. I was like, damn, Jay's about to be profound. Like he took a dramatic pause. Like it's okay, but okay, that's fair. Oscore, here's some final thoughts, buddy.
I got this horn because Jay was freaking out seeing the bottom of my beer glass.
We're happy to hear that.
Like that seemed to upset him that one day, so I've been thinking about it since.
No, I thought it was cool. That's how spirits used to drink, so they could see if someone was coming at them while they were drinking.
There it is. Most Magnum, final thoughts.
Yeah. Subscribe, like, hit the bell. We got a bunch of content coming and audio content as well, so you gotta subscribe to that. Go to fantasticforum.live for all your fantastic needs.
Indeed. Cool. And for the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. Like I said, like, subscribe. Also, like, interact. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you want to see more of, because we definitely want to go ahead and make sure that the needs of our audience are being served. So until next week, we are the Fantastic Forum. Good night. Good night.